The bitterest taste of Eldrazi power shatters both realms and identities. Big Eldrazi's! If you're a fan of big creatures, of Emrakuls, of Olamogs, of destroying, annihilating your opponent's board, and if you're a fan of green mana, this is the deck for you. We're attempting the metagame Brawl challenge with Rofellos, the little elf that could, a card that is banned. It still is in regular commander for 2 mana, an elf from Urza's Destiny, a 2/1 for 2 that taps for a green mana for each forest you control. You cast this card on turn 2, on turn 3 you untap with potentially 6 green mana to cast a lot of really good and expensive green cards. Roboroid, Natural Order, to put a Vorinclex, a Craterhoof Behemoth onto the battlefield, Cityscape Leveler, Portal to Phyrexia. So the trick is one and only. We're gonna ramp. If you're a fan of ramp, this is the list. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. And you're gonna wonder, but Kami, there's only 1 day left before the metagame challenge leaves the server. That doesn't matter, just shut up, let's go to the games, this deck is broken, let's go. Against Aang at the Crossroads, 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer that pops out another creature out of the first 5 cards of my opponent's library. You go first. Are we supposed to keep this hand? It's a little slow. We don't have any 1 mana acceleration. If my opponent removes Rofellos, we're in troubles. But I think it's fine enough. It's not busted, but it has a solid mid to late game. So let's pass the turn. And I hope my opponent doesn't have a really good draw. Maybe just plays a Tapland and a pass. A blue Willow Rush Verge. Is this Stifle? Is this Stifle of my Catacombs? Please don't. Please don't. Please do not stifle my Catacombs. Please let this ability resolve. Yeah, Forest. I mean, this is Wash Away. Come on, has to be Wash Away. Come on. $100. This is a Wash Away for Rofellos. Come on. No. I am $100 poorer now. Do you have 1 mana removal? 1 mana Sword Splasher on my Rofellos? No. No such thing. My opponent is just slow playing. Unable to scream. Is this what it is? Solitude. Solitude is fine. I mean, it's still a 2-for-1 on my part. And I can still play, yes, Rofellos goes to the common zone. We untap, Forest, Flare of Cultivation. No, we just play Overlord. Either we impend this on turn 3 or it's just too slow on subsequent turns. So we play the Overlord and pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Forest, sure. Jill, the Shiva's Dominant. They can bounce the Overlord to my hand, but that doesn't make much sense. Delighted Halfling, Flare of Cultivation, Oracle. I don't want to play Oracle and pass the turn if I don't find any forests on top of my deck. But probably that's what I'm supposed to play. Or I can play Halfling into impend the Overlord again. But that's also slow. And Halfling is something cheap to cast after I play the Beast Whisper just to draw more cards. I think we risk it up with the Oracle and pray we found a land on top. And there it is, land on top. Halfling, and now we play Halfling Flare of Cultivation so we can play 1 more land. Yeah, now this is fine enough. Flare of Cultivation, sacrificing the Halfling, getting in 2 more forests, 1 into the battlefield, 1 in hand, And we can reveal one more land off the top. Yes, with Oracle. Now, this is a good turn. This is a good turn. Now we can Nissa next turn. Island. And Jill is just a 2-2 that can get flipped. My opponent plays a Surgical Metamorph, coping the Oracle of Muldaya, but this is an artifact. I can destroy this with Nissa, but Nissa maybe it's best served as an overrun effect. The -7 creatures you control get +1/+1 for each forest you control and gain trample. We have 7-8 mana. We can go something like Rofellos and Beast Whisper. We can play Beast Whisper. Yeah, next turn we win with Craterhoof Forest, Rofellos, and the Jaw. And we can reveal another forest off the top, yeah, to play with the Oracle of Muldaya and a pass. We can also just trade our Oracle. I don't think so. We just weaken the Craterhoof, and that's not what I want. My opponent is playing Aang, and all of the copy effect, all the clones available on Arena. Yeah, there it is, with 0 many phases. Because my opponent's game plan is to play Aang, and then cascade into a clone effect, copy Aang, and then cascade again into another copy, and copy Aang again. Yeah, Rofellos goes to hand. You're still dead, opponent. This is way too slow, my friend. Land off the top, fetch away the wash away, which could have been good, opponent. A counterspell against green decks are good, opponent. Why do you shuffle it away? Just to get lucky and find another land with or my opponent gets hit by the arena bug, shuffles away the wash away, and wash away is still on top. Nice, opponent. That's definitely nice. And a Phyrexian Metamorph. Coping Jill again and bouncing my Beast Whisper. Yeah, but Jill is legendary, so you're not advancing your game plan. Bouncing the Oracle of Muldaya, sure. But now opponent, you're doomed. You're doomed, opponent. So let's play Oracle first. Because I want to see the top of my deck. If the top of my deck is a land, I play it off the top. If the top of my deck is not a land, I can play a cheap creature in order to draw. Like a Nissa. We play Nissa. Nissa also generates mana, additional mana. Then we play a forest off the top. We make another green mana. There's Harrow off the top. We now can play an Elvish Mystic. Draw another card with the Beast Whisperer. Find Vorinclex. I want Vorinclex too, so we can play Rofellos. Draw with the Beast Whisperer. It's not a land on top, unfortunate. We can play a forest, make a green mana with Nissa, and we can shuffle the deck again. And there's Channel on top. Harrow generates mana too, because of Nissa. So we can sacrifice this land. Find 2 more forests. They enter the battlefield untapped. We generate 2 more green mana. Yes, 1 and 2. And we're done. Just play the Mossborn Hydra and pass. Now, draw 1 more card. Now I'm done. Now it's fine. Now Craterhoof is lethal. Opponent cannot go tapped out with Aang. Unless my opponent finds another land off the top with their Oracle of Muldaya. So how many Aangs are you supposed to play? Just a Charming Prince. No. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, my friend. I have bad news for you, my friend. I have bad news. I'm attacking you for 50 damage next turn. You better play this Avacyn's Pilgrim. Yeah, Avacyn's Pilgrim. That's totally fine. Aang comes back and finds the first clone. All right. And then triggers again and finds the second clone. Alright, and then triggers again and finds a 4th clone. How many Aangs? This is so dumb. This is so dumb. And Eternal Witness for Solitude, but my opponent cannot play it since my opponent doesn't have a white pitch. For Phyrexia Metamorph. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Ulamog. I can also play Ulamog. Do I want to play Ulamog? Why not? Why not? So, Cityscape Leveler? Do I have the mana for everything? No, where is Zongar? Where is Zongar? Draw Ulamog. Play Ulamog. Exiling. I don't know. This and this. I'm not done yet. Withdraw Azusa. Yeah, many triggers. That's totally fine by me. Many triggers. Then we float 12 green mana. Play Azusa. Draw the Shepherd. Where are my lands? Play the Shepherd. Emrakul. Emrakul is interesting. Emrakul is interesting. Can I play Emrakul? How much does it cost? Instant sorcery creature land. It costs 9. But I think Craterhoof is already lethal. I don't need that much more. I can continue to go off and combo off with my green deck. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4 attacking creatures. Craterhoof is plus 11 to 5 creatures is 55. It's more than enough. It's more than enough. So land, trigger, 1 green mana, Craterhoof, good game. I mean, 1 Ulamog is enough. 1 Ulamog is enough. It's fine. I don't need Emrakul 2. It's fine. You can block everything if you want, opponent. That's something you can do. You can block each one of my creatures and still take, I don't know, bets are open. I think it's something like 62 damages, if I have to guess. I'm not doing any math. Math is for blockers. If you play Craterhoof Behemoth, you're not gonna do any math. So if you're bad at math, this deck is for you. Let's see if it's 62. Maybe it's more. It's 38? I was so off in my calculation. Man, I am bad at math. Let's go to the next game. We're on the draw against Grist. The Hunger Tide. How unfair. My opponent is playing a Planeswalker in their commander zone. Come on, we're gonna keep this. My opponent is playing black mana, so Rofellos is not that good against a ton of removal, which my opponent will surely have. Let's try and stick it just for 1 turn. Like, the very first Rofellos we cast will be dealt with, like, almost assuredly, but maybe a 4 mana Rofellos will be good enough. This hand doesn't do that much. Except for casting a Craterhoof maybe on turn 4. So let's go. My opponent passes with 2 mana open. What is my opponent representing with a Llanowar Wastes and a Conjured Pylons? Forest, Llanowar Elves, and maybe do I slow roll the Rofellos for just 1 turn? No, if you want to remove it, please be my guest. Be my guest. Maybe my opponent doesn't have a removal. And that's great. I will end up with 8 mana next turn. I can already cast a Craterhoof, but then I don't have any more creatures to attack except for the Behemoth itself. Opponent, you have 3 mana. Grist, the Hunger Tide. Yeah, that's fine. My board is big enough. I try to contend with this Grist. I might be able to do it. So just an insect. I could also play my Sidecut Cubs and Bristly Bills of this world and fetch and put +1/+1 counters on like everything and just attack Grist without having to resort to my Behemoth. But then what happens when my opponent plays another land and casts a Damnation next turn? I think we go something like Bristly Bill and fetch, put a +1/+1 counter on my Delighted Halfling, and then we attack Grist with a couple of elves. We still have Rofellos. We can fetch... Yeah, my opponent chumps, Grist goes to... But Grist can be a removal. Am I supposed to attack with everything? To point everything at Grist? It might be a consideration. Then I am sure to remove Grist. Maybe that's good enough. I don't really need to use Rofellos for mana. My board is big enough. Like, I attack with everything, and if my opponent blocks something, I can fetch an instant speed, put a +1/+1 counter on the thing that is about to get removed with the insect block. And maybe my opponent just lets the damage through. No. Blocks the Rofellos. Then fetch the Foothills in response for a forest. Put a +1/+1 counter on the Rofellos. Grist survives at 1, but Grist cannot -2 to destroy one of my creatures. And next turn Craterhoof is coming. My opponent plays Strip Mine into Stinging Cake Crawler out 3 mana, 1/3 Death Touch, and an Haywire Mire. Now is the turn to Craterhoof. Just a Craterhoof and Bristly Bill attacking. It's not good enough. And I just have this Topiary Stomper, but it's still not good enough. What am I supposed to do? Board is getting stalled. I don't want the board to get stalled. This Craterhoof is just a Hero's Downfall, destroy target Planeswalker. It's definitely not good enough in this position. I can also just activate Bristly Bill to put two more +1/+1 counters on both the Halfling and the Rofellos. But this is a Death Touch creature, so whichever creature I attack with, my opponent is gonna block them with their Death Toucher. Come on, let's cast this Craterhoof. Now is the time. Now is the time. But it's kinda bad. This move is kinda bad. We can do something like this, maybe. Or maybe just this, and if my opponent wants to trade Craterhoof for the Death Toucher, it's fine. I want to preserve Bristly Bill, which is the creature that put +1/+1 counters. It's a mana sink. I mean, this is fine. This is fine. Grist is removed, and the Death Toucher is removed. Rofellos is still onto the battlefield. It's kind of a spew. This Behemoth definitely was a spew, but I'm not drawing any lands. Circuit Mender. Sure, my opponent gains 3 lives and passes the turn. More and more landfall payoffs without having any lands, any additional lands to play. Where are my Eldrazi's? Where are my Eldrazi's? 5 damages to you. Come on. My opponent doesn't have a Wrath effect, so it's gonna deal with those. Yeah, insect chumps. Provisioner. Sidecut Cub, and then Topiary Stomper, and we put a +1/+1 counter on something, and we make a treasure with a Provisioner. Trigger, +1/+1 counter on the Sidecut Cub itself, a treasure, and a passing of the turn. How much mana do we have next turn? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. So please, Ulamog off the top. Now my opponent's just gonna play Grist and -2, yeah, and remove the Rofellos because this is way too much mana on my part. But I mean, Circuit Mender, my opponent plays removal on the Cub? Is that what you want? Channel, yes! Channel without the Eldrazi's. No. But now, no. What am I supposed to do now? Loot and activate the ability next turn. We're gonna remove Grist first. So, Grist gets attacked like this. This at Grist and those at you. And then play Loot and the Fanatic of Rhonas and just pray my opponent doesn't have any toxic deluges and damnations and such. Or we just concede the game on the spot. Yeah, this and this. And I'll pass the turn to you. This is what green does in this format. Play creatures and pray. That is not a wrath. That is not a damnation. Please let my creatures survive, opponent. Molegraph Millipede. That's totally fine. What does that do? 5 mana, when this creature enters, mill 3 cards, then they put a +1/+1 on counter on this creature for each creature card in your graveyard. It's a 5/5. That's totally A-okay by me. Forest. Another treasure. Let's activate loot. And we find as totally nothing all among Tyrant, Cityscape Leveler, all the things we could have got from off the top. And then we just attack with the Behemoth and trade with the Millipede. I feel my hands tied. We still have a 4-power creature thanks to the Topiary Stomper, which cannot attack unless I have 7 or more lands onto the battlefield. Ren and 7, another Planeswalker that can -3 and make a 6/6 Treefolk. Yeah, a Treefolk with power and toughness, each equal to the number of lands you control. Am I supposed to Alpha Strike? Skewed Swarm. Let's activate loot first and see what we find. We're bound to find something good. Yeah, Vorinclex. That's phenomenal. That's a 6/6 that fetches 2 more forests. 1 and 2. Yes. And then we can even just transform the Vorinclex. Exile, then it gets transformed into the Grand Evolution. Mill 10 cards, put up to 2 creature cards from among the mill cards onto the battlefield. So let's go. Skewed Swarm. Forest. Make another copy of Skewed Swarm. We're gonna go wide. We're gonna go big. Vorinclex gets flipped. Any responses? Mill 10 cards. The Cityscape Leveler. Ooh, Puck and Oroboroid, and we leave Leveler into the graveyard so we can unearth it next turn. So Puck and Oroboroid. And then we play another forest. Triggers. Ooh, 1 more treasure. Ooh, 1 more forest. Infinite more Skewed Swarms. We went over the top. So, with a couple hiccups, but first game the deck performed greatly. Let's go to the next. Against Rafine, the Scheming Seer, Esper, bad things for me. You go first. This is a really good hand. We have a turn 1 Llanowar Elf, turn 3 Oracle of Moldiah, which let me play lands off the top in order to cast this Primeval Titan, this Vorinclex Voice of Hunger. So, fingers crossed. Let's hope our Llanowar Elves and Rofellos do not get removed. Our engine to power up all our big mana plays. Opponent molds to 6, land. Llanowar Elves, hello, a greeting, and a pass the turn to you. Do you have Thoughtseize? Meticulous Archive, tapped. Land. We can also Bristly build, but that just doesn't matter. I can also impend the Overlord of the Huntwoods just to be mana efficient. Because if I go Rofellos and Rofellos gets removed, I don't have many Great Blaze next turn. So let's go with the medium effect and not risk it all against an Esper opponent who is bound to have removals aplenty for my big creatures. Ledger Shredder and a pass. Azusa. Azusa without that many lands is not that good. So let's take this chance to resolve an Oracle of Moldiah. Land off the top. Yes. Another land off the top, please. Yes. Another land off the top. It's fine. It's fine. Bristly Bill, it's fine. No, but now my opponent gets to connive with the Ledger Shredder. Maybe I was not supposed to play this Bristly build. Because what if my opponent plays an Esper Reanimator and uses this connive to put like a Grizzlebrand into the graveyard and then plays Reanimate or something? I'm not that good against big demons. Because green decks do not play all that much removal. Blasteinmire for Watery Grave and play Rafine and attack with the Ledger Shredder and connive and the bird becomes a 3/5. Are you playing standard? Like 3 years ago standard? Opponent resolves the connive, discards Malcolm, alluring scoundrel. Now is the time to play Azusa. We can play just whatever our heart desires. So what is the sequencing? Forest of the top, counter on Bristly Bill. Forest of the top, counter on Bristly Bill. What is this? What is this? Then Azusa. Now I can play 2 more lands. Land of the top, counter on Bristly Bill. Land of the top, counter on Oracle of Muldiah. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Activate Nectus for... no, Rofellos is free. So, Rofellos first. Yeah, you can connive. You can connive, my friend. That's all yours. I'm not opposed to this. 8 more mana. And so now we have 10 mana. We can activate Bristly Build twice. Or we can play Vorinclex that doubles our mana. And then we have still not enough mana left to activate Bristly Build. Still, we can also just play Primeval Titan and shuffle this Arboreal Grazer off the top. Which I'm really opposed to draw next turn. But Vorinclex is the better card, because my opponent cannot... if my opponent taps their mana, then my opponent doesn't tap the land next turn, so it's a little better. We can also just attack first, and do this, and do the Nyctus mana, attack with Bristly Bill and Oracle of Muldiah, and if my opponent blocks, we can pump with Bristly Bill. So this way we can edge against mass sweepers. 8 damage is coming to you, it's fine. And then we go... I think Primeval Titan is a little better. Primeval Titan edges a little better against Damnation or Wrath of God and things like this. So we fetch two lands, which will be Strip Mine and Ancient Tomb? Ancient Tomb. So we can cast whatever we want. Trigger, 1 counter on the Primeval Titan, 1 counter on Azusa, I don't know. Pass the turn to you. You have to play something really good this turn. This is turn 4, by the way. Turn 4. Is this fair? I don't know. It might be. Can my opponent deal 22 to me? No, opponent. 1 removal is not good enough anymore. You need to have white mana and Wrath of God. That's the only way you can escape this position. Or you need to reanimate something really good. I don't think Grizzlebrand is enough in this position. Since I have like 3 Bristly Build pumps, so Primeval Titan will become like something like a 13/13 Trampler. But my opponent connives twice, with 8 cards in hand. What do you have? Show me what you got, opponent. Show me what you got. Nissa of the top will not be that good. My opponent seems to play something like an Esper tempo / aggro deck. Maybe it's neither combo-y nor controlling enough to deal with this situation, but Here comes the Toxic Deluge. That's bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been. My opponent is still at 7. We can still play this Vorinclex. And that's enough. We can also play Rofellos. We can also just play Nissa, land, get 1 green mana, and then activate Nyctus. Can we do everything? Can we do everything? Nissa, land, Rofellos, Vorinclex, and strip mine my opponent. Land, green mana. Oh, and Overlord is coming off the impend. Rofellos, and then we can activate Nyctus for 5. Yeah, I think we can do this. I think we can do everything. Yes, you can connive. Entomb. My opponent had the reanimation package. Strip mine your commander tower. Floats a white mana. Move to combat. Vorinclex. Pass the turn to you. Can my opponent deal 6 more damages to me? Swords to Plowshares, that's fine. Meticulous Archive will be tapped next turn. Now you need to leave Ledger Shredder on defense. But now I cannot attack. All of a sudden we're losing. Unless we top deck something good. Archon of Emeria. I can only play 1 spell per turn. You need to leave the Ledger Shredder on defense. Yeah, Icesteel Explorer. That seems like a good card. Unfortunately, Archon of Emeria says that my strip mine enters the battlefield tapped. So I can't really strip lock my opponent, but still I will cast his Icesteel Explorer. Play strip mine, tapped. Mill another land. No, mill a Wearied Zone Guard. Make a green mana. And then we can attack with the Overlord and sacrifice it. If we do, we have another landfall trigger for Nissa and fetch an Elf or Elemental out of our deck. But I think our best bet is just to pass the turn. So Archon of Emeria, unfortunately for us, kinda good in this position. And my opponent attacks for 2, that's fine, we go to 18. And then plays another removal on the Icesteel Explorer. Yeah, we figured that out. Desperate Plea sacrifices the Archon just to remove the Icesteel Explorer. Alright, so strip mine your second white source. And pass the turn. I mean, my opponent is bound to 3 mana. And I have something like infinite mana. 9, 10, 11, and 2 more. So 13 and 9 more off of Rofellos. We can cast Emrakul, the Aeons Store. Not the Promised End, the Aeons Store. Come on, Rofellos. Now it's your time to shine. My opponent has found Reanimate. Reanimate on Icesteel Explorer, if I have to guess. So that my opponent can replay their land off of the graveyard. Come on. I know. You were checking my graveyard. I know you like the palm of my hand. And Commander Tower, sure. Milling a Flooded Strand. And then play Meticulous Archive. Skyclave Apparition on what? On Nissa? But that's fine. That's fine if not for the fact that you still cannot... No, you can attack with the Ledger Shredder. Oh, we've lost this game. Wow, we lost this game. My opponent attacks. I cannot win on this wing back. And somehow my opponent managed to string... No, you needed to attack. You needed to attack with a 9-11. So Tireless Provisioner and a pass. I'm scared to nothing now. Maybe I was not supposed to play the Primeval Titan. Yeah, I got destroyed by Toxic Deluge. We need to play this just as a 3-2, so that my opponent cannot attack me profitably with Ledger Shredder. But I think my opponent just plays Rafine and attacks, and that's good enough. If my opponent fetches with the Flooded Strand, my opponent goes to 2, and now Rofellos is lethal. But it really needs some good top deck. I mean, the good part is my deck is all good top decks. Not all good top decks, but something like 10 to 15 high converted mana cost spells to win the game on the spot. So Sewers for a Fountain, and then a Darker Wastes to the graveyard, and then 5 mana Rafine at attack. Ooh, Treasure Cruise. It smelled like a Treasure Cruise or a Dig Through Time. No, just a removal. Removal. Persist on the Overlord. Another Still Trigger. Yeah, my opponent didn't have many ways to impact my game plan. My opponent just managed to find all of the Wrath and removal effects in order to win. That's kinda lucky on our part. Come on, please attack with the bird. It's a 2-turn clock. Yeah, it's a 2-turn clock. Come on, opponent. You gotta do it. Emrakul! Please! No, another forest. Come on! Why? That's so unfortunate. Come on. Good game. Let's go to the next. That's so unlucky. Come on, pal. Let's go to the next. Against Dina or Dina, the Soul Steeper for 2 mana, 1/3 Dryad Druid. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's a combo deck. It's a Golgari combo deck. Opponent goes first. This hand is a little slow for my tastes. If Rofellos gets removed, this hand does nothing. We do have Finale for a 1-drop on turn 3 to then cast Nissa on turn 4 with just 3 loyalties, or play Warweave and then something else. I mean, this hand is not that good. If there's one hand we can mold, it's this one. Warbreaker it's not even that good. Yeah, I think we mold. We can do better than this. This is better-ish. We can put Burgeoning. Burgeoning on the mold is a little suspicious. And just keep Rampant Growth and 4 lands in the Tyrant. Burgeoning ramps me, accelerates my game plan on the very first turns, but it becomes a burden on turn 4 to 5 when I finish the lands in my hand that does nothing. It's either Burgeoning or a Forest. It can also be Rampant Growth. If I keep Burgeoning, I can ship the Rampant Growth. Maybe this is a little better. So I have something to do on turn 1. But my opponent plays a Discourse spell, Inquisition of Kozilek, and strips away my Burgeoning. No, just plays Deathrat Shaman. That's fine. Burgeoning and a pass. Whenever an opponent plays a land, not whenever a land enters the battlefield under your opponent's control. So, if my opponent fetches, I can only put 1 land onto the battlefield with Burgeoning. Nissa, who shakes the world. Forest, Rofellos, and a pass. I can play Vaultborn Tyrant next turn. Please, opponent, do not remove my Rofellos. The Deathrat Shaman is a gamble in Brawl because there are not those many fetches. I don't have any fetches of my own. Somehow my opponent played 2 fetches in the top 12 cards of their library. That's a little unfortunate. Then my opponent plays Insatiable Avarice just to put a card on top. So it has to be a combo piece. And if it is a combo piece, Am I dead next turn? Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So it has to be something that says, whenever opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Like the enchantment, and my opponent one-shots me. But I have... What do we have to deal with enchantments? The Nissa, I mulliganed away. A couple turns before. So what am I supposed to play? Just the Tyrant and the pass? Can I play Nissa and the Tyrant? Yeah, absolutely yes. So Nissa, resolve. My opponent has priority thanks to that Shaman, even if they don't have anything to play in their hand. Nissa, who shakes the world. A blast from the past. 2019 standard all-star Nissa who shakes the world. Opponent, do you know this card? Do we have a reader? Tap a forest, floating 2 mana, untapping said forest to generate 2 more mana. Then play the Voltborn Tyrant and cross our fingers. We don't get comboed off next turn. Augur of Autumn. And that's my turn, opponent. I don't have anything yet to play. Volatile Fault. Alright. 5 mana. Yes, this enchantment you cannot deal with. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. So, the trick is... my opponent attacks with this card. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So my opponent deals 5 to me, gains 5 life. And since my opponent gained 5 life, I lose a life, and then Conqueror triggers again, and then again, and then again, and then again. So this is lethal. This attacks for 28 damages next turn. Is there any way I can prevent this? Yes. I can try to find something off the top with Augur of Autumn. Loot. Loot is not good enough. I can play it off the top. I mean, it's an additional land drop. So it has to be fine. So loot. Forest. Forest. Strip Mine. Strip Mine does nothing. I need removals. Where are my removals? I can play then Azusa. Play Strip Mine. We generate a lot of mana. This mana does nothing. That's the sad part. Primeval Titan. Do we have a land that acts as a removal? I don't think so. Do we still play this Primeval Titan? I mean, yes, it's a draw with Voltborn. So we tap... what do we tap? I think we just untap... no, Nissa can untap Nyctos. That's really good. Arena, I need a little more time to think this to think of this turn. Primeval Titan. Yes, play the Primeval Titan of the Rofellos. I don't want to draw Vorinclex. So first thing first, we shuffle. Yes. Take action, and we find, I don't know, nothing does anything. Entomb and another forest. We draw with a Voltborn. Great Enge does nothing. But, I mean, we're still gonna cast it. Like this. The Great Enge. Yes. I'm finishing. No, please, no. Yes, this. Yes. Draw another card. Please, Arena, let me do this. Please. Please. Draw mana with Nyctos. Play Vorinclex. I'm playing my whole deck. The unfortunate part is it does nothing. Please, please, Arena, let me do this. Untap Nyctos. Yeah, we found it. 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 Come on! Yes! Play this! Destroy this! Yes! Yes! Play this! Yes, resolve! We have everything! Triggers! We can draw our whole deck. Yes! Yes! Play this! Draw! Play this. We can do this. Joe. Play this. Joe again. How much deeper can we go? Cub. This deck is crazy. This deck makes no sense. And somehow we can still lose to Dina. Somehow. Flare of Cultivation. 2 more lands. This and this. Yes, this onto the battlefield. Doesn't matter. Another creature off the top. No. Trigger. Counter on the Tyrant. And another counter on the Mossborn Hydra. We can shuffle our deck again with Rampant Growth. And clear up the top of our deck. And another counter on the Tyrant. And Mossborn Hydra doubles up. Harrow. Sacrificing his forest. How many cards do we have left? 64? Is this a blue-red storm deck in disguise? Triggers. Still on the Tyrant. And on this. That doesn't really matter. And another counter on the Primeval Titan. Are we done? I think so. Attack for 9. And cross our fingers. My opponent doesn't have another combo piece. Because my opponent can just have a Reanimate. So please, opponent, do not have Reanimate. Come on. He don't deserve this. He don't deserve this. Please. Yeah, Forest. With its own guard. You have done your thing. Yeah, Cub. 1 counter on the Cub. Go. And Mossborn Hydra is a 64. Land. Burgeoning. Infernal Reckoning. What does it do? Exile target colorless creature and assassin trophy. Alright, but you're still dead next turn, opponent. If you can combo me off, you're still dead, opponent, next turn. Yes, I would like to find another forest off of my deck. Next turn we will have something like 50 green mana. Another counter on the Cub, doesn't really matter. And Hydra is because my opponent gains life, but that's nothing. Another forest, another counter. We can put a counter on the Hydra so that we go off of the power of 2 binary, and my opponent concedes. Let's go! Cityscape Leveler off the top. One of the very few removals out of a mono green deck. We managed to win this game. What a game. Let's go to the next. Are you not entertained yet? Are you not subscribed yet? Subscribe, please. You go first. Against Delney, the Streetwise Lookout, which I think it's something like a combo, aggro combo, white weenie deck. Can I keep a hand without any 1 mana play? And also we only have 1 forest. So Rofellos isn't even that great in his hand. But I think maybe it's a keep. We have Strip Mine. We can strip my opponent off of their first land. So just play forest and a pass. Plains. I think we play Rofellos first. We can play around Mana Tithe somehow. Play something like Rampant Growth and the pass. I kind of also want to strip mine my opponent, to be fair. Because what if my opponent doesn't have another land drop? I mean, that's unreasonable, but it might happen. Opponent has priority. For what? Solitude? Again? 1 mana, Stifle in white. No. Strip Mine resolves, and a passing of the turn. My opponent plays another Plains and passes the turn again. Do I play around Mana Tithe? Deafening Silence. That's definitely a bad card in this position. Each player can cast more than 1 non-creature spells each turn. Do I care? Absolutely not, but cool art nonetheless. Do you have a way to trade? Ooh, with Rofellos. Hair Apparent. It's the Hair Apparent deck. My opponent is gonna generate a metric ton of rabbits and then give unblockability to all of those. But I am faster than this. So how do we play this turn? We can Rampant Growth and have 4 mana to then play Oracle. Or we can Harrow. We can play Cavern of Souls on Clown. Because that's what I am for Clown. And then tap this and play Harrow. Tapping all of the forests. Yeah, no, why do I have to play one more? Oh, because Cavern of Souls mana can only be used for legendary spells. So we need to flow the colorless mana. Harrow away the Cavern of Souls. For 2 forests. Then we can tap Rofellos to play Oracle of Muldiah. And then we can play this forest off the top. And then we can play this Tireless Provisioner. And that's a turn. That's a fine turn. Next turn, we can try and go off with a Beast Whisperer. Yeah. Heir Apparent is unblockable. That's fine to me. Craterhoof, for example. Craterhoof. So, Beast Whisperer. First in first. Beast Whisperer. Halfling. Draw a card. The Craterhoof, the big C is coming. Now, we can tap Rofellos for mana. Rampant Growth. Because we want to shuffle this Flare of Cultivation away. It does nothing. Land of the top. Treasure. Land of the top. No. We can explore. And just pass the turn. We can do anything else. Why next to combat? Oh, I cannot play Explore. There's Deafening Silence. It did something. Next to combat. And a pass to you, opponent. I need all of my creatures to put lethal on board next turn with a big C. Yes, you can generate all the rabbits that you want. They reproduce at an exponential rate. This smells like a reprieve. I feel like we are getting reprieved. So I'm gonna cast Nissa first and see what my opponent does. Opponent does nothing. Craterhoof. Now it's the time to play the Craterhoof. I mean, you can reprieve me, but I'm gonna cast it again next turn. It's not the end of the world, opponent. Mana Tithe. Mana Tithe is not good enough, opponent. Mana Tithe in this economy against the green deck. Combat, opponent. So bets are open again. This time I'm gonna be more accurate. Let's say -38. Is that fine enough? Opponent. I sense a deafening silence coming out of your part. And this deafening silence is gonna lead to a premature concession. It's not premature. You're gonna go to negative numbers in a split second. It's time to taunt our opponent. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. You can buy all of the rabbits in the world. They're not gonna save you from the rampage of a massive beast. This behemoth that it's bigger than any dragon you can find on Tarkir. It dwarfs all of the landscape. Some days you wish you were fighting a dragon, but you're fighting the rampage of the little elf that could. So if any of you is wondering, why is this card banned in the regular commander? But Kami, CDH is crept up this much. Rofellos is not even that good. Maybe you're right. but it's still a really good card in 2026. Let's go to the next. Against Rofellos, the mirror. Who wins the mirror? I don't know. Who goes first? Is this hand good enough? I mean, we have Exploration. Exploration is a really good card in the mirror. Bristly build doesn't do that much. Stuff of Domination is really slow. I mean, we do have to keep this, but it's not phenomenal. And my opponent has Mox Amber. So land, Exploration, Forest, and a pass. That's all that I got, my friend. Maybe we play the Beast Whisperer first. Yeah, Rofellos and a pass. Provisioner. Maybe the mirror is won by who has the more forests. And keeping a forest light hand is not that bright of an idea. What am I supposed to do now? Maybe I really need to play just a Beast Whisperer, because Rofellos doesn't do that much next turn. But maybe I draw another forest. No, we need to go Rofellos and a pass. I mean, we need mana first. We need mana first, but I think if we don't top deck another forest, we are out of this tournament. We are out of this tournament. So 7 mana for my opponent. What do you do with 7 mana? My hope is my opponent just plays something like a Voltborn Tyrant. Maybe I can beat a Voltborn Tyrant. Topiary Stomper fetches another forest. Now my opponent has 4 Rofellos mana. That's way too much. And the Nissa. And Nissa destroys the Exploration. But now I can attack Nissa. I can also play my own Nissa. That's also really good, my friend. So let's do this and play Nissa who shakes the world. The better Nissa. And then we can float 2 mana. We cannot cast the Beast Whisper. We can cast the Beast Whisper by floating 2 green mana, then untap the forest, and then play the Beast Whisper. But I really need to remove this Nissa. So my opponent's Nissa. So we just play the Bristly Bill. Yes, and then we can untap our forest, attack Nissa, and pass the turn. I mean, it's not that bad of a turn. We have a ton of mana next turn, so it's bound to do something, but my opponent can play an Eldrazi now. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's all of the top end that my opponent had. And maybe our wishes have been granted. Because now we can float this mana. Play the Beast Whisperer. We need to draw more cards. So we can untap this mana, this forest. Untap this forest. Play... what do we play first? A World Weave or a Tireless Provisioner? I think we play the Provisioner first. No, World Weave first, then Provisioner. Is that fine enough? It's not that great of a turn though. We don't even get a Provisioner trigger. If we play Provisioner first, we draw a card off of the Beast Whisperer. But World Weave is another forest guaranteed. Maybe that's good enough. We can do something like this. Take 2 damages off the Ancient Tomb, then play World Weave. No, it's not good enough still. And then play the Provisioner. Trigger. We get a forest and a Beast Whisperer draw. And put a counter on, I don't know, Bristly Bill itself. Draw another forest, play the forest, trigger, a counter on the Tireless Provision, and now it blocks the Topiary Stomper. We generate a treasure, and then we can play the Stuff of Domination, which does nothing for the time being. Do you want to sacrifice a treasure? I think so. Should not be that important. That extra mana. and then pass the turn. Fingers crossed. Opponent fades an Emrakul top deck again. Maybe my opponent has Emrakul the Aeons Torn, and there's Emrakul, the world Anew. Yeah, oh, yeah, fantastic, phenomenal. That my opponent could not cast last turn, because my opponent only had 11 mana and not 12. Move your commander to the command zone. I mean, we can straight up concede the game, right? This is a 12 flying protection from spells, protection from everything, and my opponent stole 2 of my lands and all of my creatures. So we just say good game and move on to the next. So, the answer to the question, who wins the Rofellos mirror? Probably who goes first, or who draws the Eldrazi first. Not that great of a showing this very game, but it's been a fun run. We went 5-2 with mono green Rofellos, 4-2 with mono green Rofellos. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. 4 prize packs coming to the house. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, there are many more constructed and limited draft videos coming your way, so be sure to stay tuned on Kami frequencies, and see you next time, lucky top deckers.